This is Middle East Brief with Avi Connor, your daily intelligence update on what actually matters. Today, the mullah regime is escalating through its Hezbollah proxy in Lebanon. Israel is signaling it will not tolerate a drawn-out war of attrition, and a broader regional alignment is beginning to take shape. Here's what actually matters today. The mullah regime is once again escalating through proxies rather than direct confrontation. Its most dangerous lever right now is Hezbollah in Lebanon, a heavily armed, deeply embedded proxy positioned directly on Israel's northern border. Hezbollah is increasing pressure through constant low-level attacks, probing responses, and testing limits without triggering full-scale war. This is not random. It is deliberate strategy. The goal is not to win quickly. The goal is to drag the conflict out. The Iranian regime understands that time can be a weapon. By prolonging the conflict through Hezbollah and other proxies, the mullah terror regime is trying to exhaust Israel, divide U.S. attention, and shift global pressure over time. What this means, this is not a war of decisive battles. It is a war of endurance. The Iranian regime is betting it can outlast the United States and Israel, politically, economically, and psychologically. And it is critical to be clear about one thing. This is not a conflict with the Iranian people. The Iranian people are not the enemy. They are the primary victims of the mullah regime, which continues to invest in regional conflict instead of stability and prosperity at home. At the same time, Israel is sending a very clear signal. Israeli leadership is making it known that it will not allow Hezbollah to establish a permanent threat environment along its northern border. There is growing indication that Israel is prepared to escalate if necessary to restore deterrence. This is not just rhetoric, it is preparation. What this means, Israel is pushing back against the strategy of slow erosion. It is signaling that prolonged pressure will eventually trigger a stronger response. Meanwhile, a broader regional alignment is becoming more visible. Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates continue to work closely with the United States, focusing on stability, security, and limiting the reach of the Iranian regime and its proxies. These countries understand what is at stake. They are not just reacting, they are actively supporting a regional balance that prevents escalation from spreading. What this means, the Middle East is increasingly divided between two camps, one focused on stability, growth, and cooperation, and the other driven by the mullah regime's network of proxies and long-term destabilization. And then there is the narrative war. Outlets like Al Jazeera continue to frame events in a way that blurs responsibility, downplays the role of Hezbollah and the Iranian regime, and amplifies anti-Israel messaging to a global audience. This is not neutral coverage, it is strategic influence. What this means, the information battlefield is shaping how the world interprets events, and that interpretation affects political pressure and decision-making. Narrative versus reality matters. The narrative, a cycle of escalation without clear cause. The reality, a deliberate strategy by the mullah regime to prolong conflict, apply pressure through proxies like Hezbollah, and outlast its adversaries. The biggest risk right now is not just escalation. It is miscalculation inside a prolonged conflict, because the longer this continues, the greater the chance that one move crosses a line that cannot be walked back. And in this region, that line can be crossed very quickly. This is Middle East Brief with Avi Connor. If you want clarity, not noise, follow and share. Tomorrow, we'll take a closer look at Karg Island and why it sits at the center of the Iranian regime's economic vulnerability. Back tomorrow.